like to call the TCFC meeting to order at 10:55. Can I have a roll call, please?
President Cheryl Brown,
Present.
Vice President Jimmy Paver,
Present.
Director Wilmer Roberts.
President, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Is there anyone desiring to discuss or make comments on any items that's directed to TCFC, to the board? Okay, thank you. Moving on to item number 3 on the agenda, and that is to approve the minutes from the February 1st, 2024 regular meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. Moving on to item 4, this is action items. Item A, resolution number TCFC 2024-02, and this is to amend standard terms, PFC transactions, and other matters in connection therewith as drafted, superseding resolution number TCFC 2022-08.
Okay, yes, ma'am. So as you all know, that we've been asking development partners to comply with our terms that we needed to just modify and make them formalize that. So that's what is reflected in what you see today in attachment A in terms of the adjustment in the fees. Also, Kevin, if you move up, the increasing of the 60% units to 20% versus 10, and obviously which means the reduction of the 80% units from 40 to 30. In addition to the other language you see there in red. Any questions?
What was the prior early termination? Or was there one?
Jim, you want to explain the difference between now and before the determination? There was no language there.
I don't think it was, yeah.
There was no language there.
ZMO.
He is, I just called, but I don't,
Who's man?
He's muted.
he's muted. Jim,
You muted, Jim.
looks like I can see something. Kevin, you can send a note specifically to Jim.
Jim.
Just
Okay, well, I'm okay with just
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's,
All right.
moving on.
So is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's approved, we move on. Moving on to item B, resolution number TCFC 2024-03, and this is to approve reducing the Oak Hill Highland Apartments in partnership with an affiliate of Urban Genesis LLC to be located at approximately the intersection of Slargo Lane and Interstate 35, and authorizing the negotiation and execution of a term sheet and other matters in connection therewith.
okay. So we're happy to bring this to you. We have a representative from the development partner here. I'm going to let him share first, and then we'll just come back and add some details that weren't covered. But we have the presentation included that you provided. But why don't you just go ahead and give? I'll allow you just to sort of do it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So, hi, nice to meet everyone. Good morning. My name is Gal Shalaev. I work with Urban Genesis, which is the developer on this project. I have the presentation. Do we want to go through the presentation? I can just.
You all want to go through the presentation?
Highlights.
Yeah, just highlights. Yeah, and you can look at it later. If you have any questions, let me know. So I'll do a quick overview of the company and then also talk about the project specifically. So Urban Genesis was founded about 10 years ago, really with a mission of providing affordable housing, a lot of small A affordable, not necessarily big A affordable. And we've worked really hard to develop a few different product types that allow us to provide both big A affordable housing as well as small A affordable housing that is at an attainable rate relative to some of the other Class A multifamily that we would see in infill locations. We have about 6,000 units across our portfolio. Some of those, that includes buildings we've sold as well as our entire pipeline right now. And about a third of those have been PFC. Most of those in Houston and Dallas. We have one in Austin that was approved a couple months ago by the board. up by the Tech Ridge Center, and then this is our second one in Austin that we're hoping to get approved. That is down by Slaughter and I-35. The building itself is going to be 360 units. Half of it will be affordable. 30% at 80 MFI and 20% at 60 MFI, which reflects the new terms that you guys just approved. It's going to be a brand new Class A building, fully amenitized pool, gym, 5-story product. What we really like about the location is it's right on I-35. It's very accessible to downtown as well as going south for any potential students that might be going to Texas State. And it's right across I-35 from South Park Meadows. So it's a very urban area, very urban feel. You get all the shopping and retail that you need. But it's in a small pocket of ETJ, which allows it to be a PFC under the Travis County Housing Authority.
So is your
Yeah.
target students?
Not necessarily. We think that it's a good location for potential students, but we don't necessarily target a specific target market. We think that might be a big part of the market, but we're not targeting them specifically. I will also add that the Slaughter I-35 intersection, it's really the Slaughter Congress intersection, which is just behind I-35 from us. It's about a 10-minute walk. A lot of public transportation there as well, so people can get in and out of downtown pretty easily. I think it's about a 45-minute ride with a Metro Rapid bus that just has fewer stops. There's 3 grocery stores within walking distance, so a lot of really good amenities. And then if you go east from there, there's a few parks. There's the Onion Creek Greenbelt and the McKinney Falls State Park, so a lot of more natural amenities as well for residents. So. Yeah, any questions?
Yeah, we're about to pull up the pictures in the vicinity map.
Yeah, so we have a map and some renderings, yeah. Right. And then I believe Matt is on the Zoom.
Yes, he is.
1 or 2 words, I don't know if you can hear us.
No, it's Slaughter.
Yeah, so okay, yeah, here it is. Okay. If you want to go to the vicinity map, I think there's some questions about where it is. Let's show them the vicinity map. Okay.
Let me just share the screen. I just want to.
Okay. So why don't you just orient them again about the location, and then we'll kind of.
So if you actually go to the next slide.
The next slide. Yeah, there you go.
And it's blocked here. The
Pull
thing
it
is
up
blocked,
again.
but yeah, right there. So this is I-35. Obviously, South Park Meadows is right across the street, right across I-35 from us. And it's on the southeast corner of Slaughter and I-35. So pretty quick trip into downtown, and then also south if anyone's going to San Marcos or whatever. 6.1 acre site. We're fitting about 360 units. In an area that really, it's got this overall area has some new product that is at a much more expensive price point, and a lot of the more affordable product is older, so 80s, 70s. So we're going to be able to provide brand new product with all the same amenities you would see in Class A at a price point that's a little bit closer to some of the older product, which we like a lot. So.
Is that near that Home Depot down there?
I believe there is. I don't want to say for sure. I believe there's a Home Depot in South Park.
Yeah, it's a little farther north. The Home Depot you're talking about is on the east side of 35. I think
No, I'm not.
Oh,
talking
right,
about-
right,
No,
there's a Home
there's
Depot.
one on south there around Slaughter. Yeah, right around Slaughter area.
I believe there's a Home Depot in the mall, but I need to check that to confirm for sure. I don't know.
But that's okay.
But the mall has a ton of retail. I mean, it's
Yeah.
about 2 million square feet of restaurants, fast food, grocery stores.
Yeah.
There's a movie theater, so we kind of get
All
it.
right.
I know the
Thank you.
general area.
Yeah, I do too.
All right.
And then if you go to the next slide, it shows a rendering of roughly what it's going to look like. So, yeah, pool at the front, covered parking for most of the residents, and it's two small buildings. And then a third will be on the side, but this is an older rendering, so it doesn't show.
Take the next one.
And then, by the way, I forgot to mention, so the 2 buildings that are on both sides of this building are ours as well. Those are not PFC because they're in the city of Austin. They do have some affordable housing through City of Austin's vertical mixed use program, so 10% of the units are affordable. But if you ever want to tour those, today or any other day, feel free to let me know, and we're happy to walk you through so you can see it. It'll be very similar product.
How did you escape Austin ETJ just for this plot?
So it's a little triangle of ETJ that we found, and it's surrounded by Austin zoning.
Yeah.
So we just kind of got lucky there. Yeah.
Well, if you go down Palmer, it's interesting because there's areas that are north that are like, you go one block into ETJ and one block into city, ETJ city, and just areas that are, cities that have expanded. Because a lot of times they were trying to specifically exclude a certain element, like the landfills are not in the city, but the area just adjacent to it is in the city, or applied materials is not in the city, but the area just north of it is in the city. So you see that in areas on the periphery where the city was doing annexation, and they specifically, probably a landowner wanted to be left out, and then, which is called exclusionary, but that happens. Where you see areas that aren't in the city and that are in the city. Very interesting, but that happen less often now these days because of obviously more visibility on the process, but you find that oftentimes on the periphery of Austin.
So can an individual owner petition to not be annexed?
They can, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Typically,
It doesn't work.
Normally not. But I mean, annexation is very difficult these days.
That was done under 5-member council. We're now
things were different back then.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that this area, as he mentioned, I mean, there's a lot of market rate because it's growing, and the ability to have any kind of affordable of any type is, getting well ahead of it is a really good thing because most of the units aren't, I mean, obviously a little bit less price point, lower price point, but significant nonetheless in terms of what you're seeing development down there. I mean, it's going crazy, so.
Plus, I-35 is, they're putting the flowers all the way through the middle of it.
Yeah.
So it's really fast trip.
Yeah, and then if you want to go to the next slide, that's an existing building we have over at MLK and Alexander. That's in the city of Austin, obviously, but right next to a light rail. We really like transit in general. But so you can see our renderings are digital, but this is an actual representation of what it looks like. And then if you go to the next slide, it shows some of the interiors as well. And again, very similar to the buildings we have right next door if you want to go see those in person. And then if you want to go to the last slide, this just outlines the terms. And I believe all of these fall under the new terms. So a deeper level of affordability and the updated fees.
So just for context, he was trying to provide a tour for us, but it was really late. So the two buildings adjacent to us these are developers, and so we have firsthand knowledge because we saw it go up, and many of us have toured those properties. Obviously, this is our second project with them, but yes, they are examples of the quality of work on both sides of this building in terms of what they've done.
And they do the hotel of the neighbors.
Yeah, hopefully it hasn't been too loud for you guys.
Oh.
And when this one becomes functionally obsolete and the county decides to get rid of it, we're going to see another building, I'm assuming, here.
Yeah.
So do we ever extend an invitation to the county commissioners to view properties?
A couple developers have directly. I mean, we haven't per se, but I know on a couple occasions we have. But that is a good idea to, as we move forward, is to maybe organize something.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm available whenever you want.
What's the time frame of getting this before the commissioners court?
So as you know, we have some items that we're contemplating moving to Commissioners Court on the 26th. They do have an application now that we helped sort of develop. We'll actually be using that application as well, just to give folks the idea of what they're going to be producing subsequently to the commissioners. So it looks like the process is probably taking about 3 to 4 weeks from the time the application is complete, which only takes probably about a couple days or so once it moves on from us. But those first items look like they're tentatively moving forward on the 26th of this month.
Okay, just as an FYI, I'll be out of the country on the 26th.
Yeah, so
But-
those won't,
but
you won't be,
these-
yeah. Can I go? No, so I'll be at the Commissioners Court, but it should, we feel very good about it. And I know that your partner's on the line who may want to speak, and Jim is also on the line if you want a clarification.
He said we sounded muffled earlier, so.
Yeah, we've
We
been sounding muffled all
gotta
day,
fix
so
that mic. We
yeah.
gotta fix
we're
this
gonna work on
microphone
this.
problem.
Yes, we are committed to doing such. Michaela told me she had a plan. So,
Okay.
All right. Any other discussion?
Jim, did you wanna
The meeting
say
also-
anything? I know you can't hear us. Okay.
Jim, do you have anything that you want to say about this project?
He's muted.
He's on, we can't hear him.
You're
Hold on,
muted.
Jim, hold on.
I
We
don't
can't
think
hear
he's
you.
talking to us.
Sorry, did you say Matt? Hello?
No, I was
No,
speaking to
Matt, they
Jim.
were asking Jim.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's difficult for me to hear the other people speaking, so
No problem.
Y'all, I apologize, but we on the Zoom cannot hear anything but what Miss Brown says at all. But I do want to tell you that this is a standard term sheet. It follows all of our policies. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It does follow all of our policies, and I think we are prepared to go on the 26th to the county, and so and I've done many deals with these guys, and so I think we'll be in good shape in terms of documents. And of course, after the county approves it, we will finalize the documents and we will bring them back to you for final review.
Right.
All right. So is there a motion to approve item B on the agenda?
So moved.
There's-
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Jim. Moving on to item C on the agenda, and this is resolution TCFC 2024-04, and this is to amend the policy statement on affordable housing development as drafted, superseding resolution number TCFC 2022-07.
Yeah, so, in light of some of the changes that have occurred recently, it seemed necessary to go ahead and make some slight modifications to the policy. So, Kevin, if you go to the markup, which follows that.
This
Right there. Okay, so what we have here, per some guidance that we got in terms of clarity, Jim offered some additional clarity, as in saying 30% and below, as opposed to saying just it's extremely deeply affordable. And then this language about the ability to utilize the funds for other purposes if you deem necessary. And so that's essentially what it does. The other statement, just if you go down, Kevin, it just removes the references to the SHFC, and that's pretty much it.
Can you go back up to, yeah,
Sure.
right there, stop there. Any questions, the agency's existing portfolio, okay.
Okay.
Go to the resolution.
Any questions, discussion?
In light of what Joe talked about this morning, is use, perceive any possible changes with regards to other policies as it relates to dual positions here, since we own TCFC.
Yeah, I mean, I heard, that was the second time I'd heard him talk about that. In some cases, there was, in the specific case, there was transition in the board, they wanted some continuity, so they decided to not have the same membership on the stuff, on the affiliate versus the agency. We don't really have that issue, but I think in the future, if you elect to, down the road, say, your term's up and you don't wanna serve the housing authority anymore, you wanna still do the work on development activity in theory, I think there's a need for such, but and that was a specific example of the citing, but I don't foresee that being, that component being an issue even with the foundation.
Especially with the cohesive board, you know.
Yeah.
That's the thing, we have to try to make sure we.
Yeah,
maintain.
I think down the road, maybe if there's, but I don't feel like it's really an issue at this point,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
No problem, it's a great question, great question. So is there a motion to approve this
So
resolution?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next on the agenda is item 6, and this is the board committee reports.
You skip super.
Oh, I'm
Superintendent
sorry, I'm sorry, I'm
finance.
sorry.
Um,
Forgive me, Super.
Oh.
Item 5, regular agenda, finances.
Yeah, again, what's included is the January, for period ending January. And we did receive some funds from Endeavor Bergstrom. It closed I guess in December or early January. We did receive some funds, so that's about it.
What,
Actually, we got a check yesterday for 45,000. I didn't get it to you.
Okay, that might be just
Yeah.
monthly. Yeah.
okay.
The
So how much
silver-
have we received so far?
In January, we received $422,000. So in the bank, for the set aside, we have 4.6 million, and then for the TCFC, we have about 2.8 million,
Okay.
and
6 million.
Yeah.
yeah, 6.
What are we doing with regards to, what's the interest rate that you're receiving and what are we doing? with
We have
regards
pretty
to-
much moved all the funds to the tax pool account, which pays 5%. So we are getting a good, healthy interest on it.
Some of these local banks, organizations won't pay more than that.
No, they're not gonna pay, because the tax pool, they invest in treasury notes, and that pays 5%, you know.
All right.
Okay. All right, great, thank you. Item 6, board committee reports. Any real estate committee, nothing other than what we
Good.
talked about. Any, item number 7, any unfinished business? Is there anything? All right, thank you. Item number 8, is there a, reason to go into executive session? Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn? the
So
meeting?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
We're gonna cut these off.